If the MMA Guru does this, this will change the UFC forever. So the MMA Guru made a video where he called out some of the biggest names in MMA media for constantly bitching about fighter pay and what the UFC pay their fighters and the fact that they do nothing about it. So the MMA Guru has decided from 2025 he is going to do something about it. So the MMA Guru is looking to help out fighters on their first UFC contract. Now, he did kind of go into detail on what he means by this. So say, for example, the likes of MVP and Michael Chandler, who were big names before coming to the UFC, those guys are not included because those guys, when they first joined, they were fighting ranked opponents. They are already going to be on big money. The people he's looking to help out for, the men and women, are people who are coming out from the regional scene, who have maybe had a fight in the Contender Series, and then start off on the bog standard base UFC contract, which I believe is 10k to show, 10k to win, and $2,000 in Venom sponsorship. I believe that is the base contract for the UFC. And now, yes, potentially having making 22 grand for one singular fight does seem like quite a nice payday. However, when you factor in this is like a full-time job for these men and women, say they've got a house they need to pay for, kids they need to look after, their training, their nutrition, plus they get taxed on that. It's not as if like they make 22 grand for a fight and don't get taxed. They do. So when you really think about it, and with how often they're fighting, it isn't that great pay for what they're doing, for they're putting their body on the line, etc., for our entertainment. So what the MMA Guru wants to do is offer these men and women 10k performance bonus, 10k fight of the night bonus. Now this one right here is what I think is really important. 10k if robbed, because the judging in MMA at the minute is absolutely dog shit. How someone give Paulo Costa 4-1 against Sean Strickland is fucking beyond me. Now, yes, that fight was kind of close, but Strickland clearly won it, in my opinion. Now, and this is another thing with the judging. Nothing ever happens to them. They could fuck up a result for a guy who's coming into the UFC and is on 10-10, and say he clearly wins that fight, but he loses. But they scored as he's lost, right? So he's been robbed. That guy's only going to make 10k then, when really he should have been making 20. Now, the judges at the end of that night, they still get paid regardless if they fuck up or not. Nothing happens to them, which is shit. Yes, so this is a good thing that the MMA Guru is doing. This one is a really good one in my opinion. And the other one is 5k for a bad KO loss or a bone break, which is good as well. At least they're getting something. Now, yes, well, they've lost, blah, blah, blah. But like some of these guys can get KO'd, or say, for example, say a lower level fighter had the injury that Conor McGregor had. McGregor has that much money, the guy never has to fight again in his life. But say if you're starting off on a 10-10 contract and you have that leg break, you're out of the cage for quite some time now, and you're not making any money. So you're making zero. So this is good. And no, obviously 5k isn't going to save you, like if you've broke your leg and you're going to be out for some time, but it is a nice touch. Yeah, the MMA Guru, I think everybody should be getting behind this, in my opinion. I don't really talk about fighter pay because I don't really know much about it, but all I know is that this can only benefit fighters, and this can only help improve the UFC. Now, the MMA Guru says at the start that this will be out of his own money, which makes me think, what the fuck, how much is this guy earning? But fair play if he's putting up his own money. I mean, fair play to the guy. I mean, he's complained about this, but he is actually going to do something about it. You have to support it now. Whether or not maybe he starts off with his own money and a sponsor then comes in to help, regardless, this is a great idea. And like I said, it can only help these fighters and can only help the UFC. I think if this really, really does start to gain traction, I think the likes of Ariel Helwani, who maybe doesn't know who the MMA Guru is or doesn't talk about the MMA Guru, maybe doesn't like him. You complain about fighter pay. This guy's trying to do something. Ariel Helwani is just an example. He is also on a big platform that complains about fighter pay. Get behind this movement, because I really do believe that if people get behind this and really promote it, and the UFC can see that, the UFC will have no choice but to then increase pay. So yeah, I think this is a great idea. I think everybody should get behind the MMA Guru for this. Fair play to the guy. Yeah, I'm in all favor for this one. Let me know your opinions in the comments below. And as always, we are on the road to 300 subscribers. That is the goal. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. See us again in the next one.